and I'm super excited to have you here with me today. Well, today, we have a truly special guest. She is an accomplished legal counsel with extensive experience in corporate law. She is also a passionate advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion within the legal field in Germany. We are going to dive into her inspiring journey from navigating the complexities of the German education system to rising through the ranks in the legal profession, all while, of course, championing important causes close to her heart. We will also discuss her recent reflections on social media that have resonated with so many people, especially those who have faced self-doubt in their academic or professional lives. So without further ado, Dream Rivers, please join me in welcoming the amazing and fantastic Sharon Robinette. So, dear Sharon, welcome to the Dream Rivers channel, where every journey begins with a dream. I would like us to start our conversation by hearing a little bit about your early life. How was life growing up for you?
First of all, thanks for having me. So I'm Sharon Robinette, and I was born and raised in Kenya. Not a specific place because we moved all around Kenya, but right now I'd say home is Nairobi. So growing up, I always dreamt of being a lawyer. I think most of my family members used to refer me as the lawyer in the family because I was very good at arguing and bringing points home. And I always saw myself as a lawyer. But unfortunately, my mom, I come from a single parent household, and my mom just didn't have the financial resources to finance my higher education. And then that was just after finishing high school, and I just became a mom. And so I had to think quickly, adult quickly, and try and secure a future for my daughter and I. And this led me to come to Germany as an au pair. I did the au pair year, learned a bit of the German language, and applied for law school. Fast forward, I'm as an acquisitions lawyer in a leading software company. I have led multiple M&A transactions, small to mid cap, and I love helping others also achieve what they aspire to do or to become.
That's a beautiful insight of your early background, Sharon.
Thank you.
How do you define your purpose, both professionally and personally? And what does success mean to you in the context of your career and life?
Well, that's a very loaded question because I think we're all told you have to find your purpose. And for a long time, I actually didn't know the difference between a purpose and a goal. So through law school, I was determined to be a lawyer. And I actually thought at that point that was my purpose. But then finishing law school, and I was like, okay, now what are the next steps? And I realized that a goal is just the destination, but a purpose, it's what really keeps you moving and keeps you in whatever you're trying to achieve. So that's when I had to come up with something that would actually make me enjoy being a lawyer. Because at that point, I just wanted to become a lawyer, and becoming a lawyer, that was not the end of the goal. So I did a lot of self-reflection. I call them regular meetings with myself, which are pretty difficult, where I really took stock of my life and I identified what really fulfills me, what really fills my cup, and what really aligns with my core values. And since I couldn't, like I work in a very capitalistic legal sector, I do mergers and acquisitions. So you're not necessarily, in as much as you get personal fulfillment with closing deals, there's not really good or giving back. And doing some self-reflection, I noticed that that was a big part of myself, giving back, empowering others. And that's why I tried to use other means to also achieve my goal and to fill my cup, basically. So initially, the fear of failure pushed me forward, but I think embracing failure and growth has been key to living my purpose, and also continuous evolution, because you can't just come up with your purpose at 30 and you leave it. You evolve, because change is constant. So it's about continuous evolution. But anything I do, I think what's important for me is to really do something that aligns with my core values. Yeah.
With your core values, doing something that aligns with your core values.
Yeah.
Sharon, still basing on defining your purpose and finding your purpose, what advice would you give to our young watching us and still struggling to find their purpose? What advice would you give them?
I think finding your purpose, and this is an unpopular opinion, I think it's overrated. So, because you might feel inadequate doing things, achieving stuff, and you don't really feel a sense of purpose. But I think it takes a lot of self-awareness, knowing where your interests lie, playing with your strengths also, um, self-care, taking care of your mental health. That means journaling, practicing gratitude, and all this stuff. You kind of find yourself. And when you find yourself, and I know there are a lot of concepts where you can really which you can really use to find your purpose, like ikigai. When you combine what you love with what you do and how you live, and you live a wholesome life. But I think also being self-compassionate, I think that's very important. Radical acceptance, but also not trying as much as possible to push yourself and to exceed your own expectations. I think when you play with all of that, you'll find what works for you and what really fills your cup. That's what I'd call it. Yeah.
That's amazing, Sharon. What were some of the challenges that you faced as a Black student navigating the German education system? And how did these experiences shape your professional journey, Sharon?
I think for me, okay, we can talk about the language barrier, because
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I first started out. So I had to do a 1 year kind of a course to compensate the 1 year that we didn't do in high school. And it's also a preparation for university. And then you apply for university and you start studying. And when I was in this student college, it's a student's college, basically, I was at that point where I was actually Googling, what does Klausur mean? Because my German was that bad. But I think I was a little bit naive, and it might be because there was some information deficit, there was an information gap. There was a lot of information that I didn't have. I didn't Google what it means to study law in Germany. I didn't inform myself. So I went just green, I'd say, very naive into law school. And I think retrospectively, that really worked good for me, because I really believed in myself. Like, I wanted to become a lawyer, and that's all I had in my head. But of course, I think in my first semester, I failed like one of the tests, and that was kind of a reality check. And I had to work on improving myself constantly. Uh, but I had a growth mindset. I didn't let a lot of negative information affect what I was doing. And also being the only Black person in a room always, it's very daunting at first. I've always been the only Black person in a room till now, actually. In my day to day, I rarely have interactions with a person of color. And that's challenging. But I really tried to transform all these little daunting situations into something positive. So, for example, I would go to networking events. And since I was the only Black student or person in the room, the only question people thought they would connect with me with was, where do you come from? But you speak really good German. And for me, when you have the same conversation with 20 different people at the same event, it's very exhausting. But then I always looked at these little situations as advantages. So that was my opportunity to catch someone's attention. If I enter a room, I'm the only Black person, I've already got someone's attention. And all I had to do was deliver. That's it. So I really worked with my positive mindset. And also the fact that I didn't have money to study in Kenya, and this opportunity in Germany, I was always grateful all the way. For me, I was really living my dream, and which I'm doing even now. So I think that was my way of overcoming failure, building resilience, and also being dedicated to my goals. Yeah.
Being dedicated to your goals.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Sharon, in your recent post, you mentioned feeling isolated and dealing with self-doubt during your studies. How did you navigate these challenges, and what strategies or support systems did you find helpful?
Um, I wish I found solutions at that point where I was going through that. Because for me, law school was very isolating. I didn't have people that I could really connect with. And then I had this fear of failure. So all I was doing was either study or study some more. Or, the little time I had, I was spending with my family, my daughter. And Oh, I mean, it took a toll on my mental health. And since I didn't really have time to like sit down and really be intentional about working on that or trying to help myself out of that situation. I think I just compartmentalized and finished law school. And when I finished law school, that's when I realized that it really had a toll on me in terms of my confidence. There's no one who can really resonate with you in the room or in school or university. And that was really difficult. But for me, I think I took all these moments of isolation as an advantage. So I went and looked for a law firm that I knew I could work in English. I worked since my fourth semester in a global law firm. In spite of people saying if like law firms have this, I'd say, stereotypes that being spoken about in law school, as an immigrant, as a Black student who has been learning German for like 4 years, I would have never had the chance to actually work in a law firm. But for me, I didn't let these naysayers and people, negativity really get to me. I was really focused in a very naive way, but that really helped me. But isolation, law school, after law school, I really realized that all that had took a toll on me. And so after that, I sought out professional help. I think really that's a good investment. I also researched a little bit, and at that point, I didn't know that universities also offer such resources that can really help you through different challenges in university. I wish I knew, but right now, that's why I keep telling people use the resources that you have, because I wish I used them. I didn't use them. And right now I'm a lawyer and I have to pay for it actually, which is very expensive, but I see it as an investment really in myself. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's the end. Inclusion initiatives you are most passionate about, and how you have worked to advance these efforts within the legal profession in Germany.
So I'm generally passionate about helping students from underrepresented groups, navigating, racism, and all the other issues we experience in the workplace or in university. I help them, I mentor them, and help them climb the social mobility ladder, if you may put it that way. So I'm a member of Afro-Deutsche Juristinnen. It's an initiative of Black lawyers, yes, in Germany. And we basically advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion in the legal sector, the German legal sector. We also offer pro bono services for people from from the Black community, actually, who don't have the resources to get legal help. We also want to be part of the decision or lawmaking process in Germany. So it's really a safe space where you know what, I didn't really know there are so many Black lawyers in Germany. Like, there is power in community, really.
Right,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, so I joined it last year in February, and I was so empowered to see that there are other Black lawyers in Germany who look like me. I mean, it's powerful. And I'm also part of a group. It's called Women in Deal Making in Frankfurt. We support each other and try and promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in the mergers and acquisition sector in Germany. Other than that, I also help individual mentees of mine. I wish I had more time to even take more mentees, but I have a mentee. She's actually just qualified. She's right now in Atlanta doing her last rotation sit, the legal clerkship. I'm so proud of her. And I have another one who is also just about to sit for their first state exam, just their last exam in university, which is very encouraging. And she's from Pakistan, actually, so her background is very different from mine. But she also came to Germany without knowing the language, and she's pushed her way through. And I'm really proud of her. And yeah, so I wish I had more time to really give back. But I'll be working on something that would be more accommodating to more people.
You are definitely doing a lot more than more than that, I do believe. Sharon, what are the most important lessons you have learned from your journey that you would like to share with others? And if you could give one advice of a piece of advice to your younger self during challenges.
First question, advice I would give to my younger self. I think I would start networking more, because for me, I had a LinkedIn account, but I wasn't really very intentional about networking and also leveraging your network. Right now, I'm at the point where I'm really learning to leverage my network. But at first, when I started out, I wasn't really intentional about networking because, of course, I thought I work hard and I let my work speak for myself and I'm going to be successful that way. But hey, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to self-advocate. You have to you have your career. There's a difference between a job and your career. And your career, it's up to you to take it to the next level. So I wish I had worked on networking more and even earlier on building my personal brand. I think I started out too late, where I first shared my story when I was already qualified, just because I didn't think I was worthy of sharing my story before getting a qualification. That's what was going on in my head. I was like, what if I share my story and then I end up not qualified to be a lawyer? That would be so embarrassing. But then I think also timing was right. But that would have been something that I would have worked on earlier. And also, I think taking care of your mental health, because law school was brutal. Um, I think it's not even about what you have to study. I think it was about your mental strength and discipline, resilience. And I learned the hard way, but I wish I had even be more intentional on doing that, because I take care of my physical fitness and I don't even know why I was not taking care of my mental fitness. So I wish I had done that earlier. Yeah, I think the importance of the most important lesson. Wow, there's so many lessons, but I think right now in terms, because I'm at the level where I'm trying to, advance to the next career level. So I think the most important lesson I've learned is the power of sponsors. People who speak for you when you're not in the room, and in as much as mentors are very important to someone's career, I always feel like mentors don't have a direct impact into your life. They can advise you, they can take you to networking events, you can talk things through. But I always think sponsors, they have the immediate effect on your career. And I'm very appreciative of that. That's a big lesson I've learned for myself. So it's not just about self-advocacy, but also about what someone else might say or how someone might mention your name in a room that you might not even have permission to enter. So yeah.
That one there. I just love the last line. Thank you very much, Sharon. As we conclude this beautiful conversation, which historical figure has inspired you? Also, what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
So historical figure, I'll mention Wangari Maathai. She was a Kenyan female Nobel Peace Prize winner, and she was very assertive in a man's world. Although at that point, gender and female empowerment was not really a hot topic in Kenya, I've just really admired her journey, how assertive she was, how she paved way for many women in Kenya. And that's very inspiring. And she lived with integrity, with purpose, with a goal. And I really find her journey very inspiring. Really, yeah. But also a very real figure as a lawyer. I always mention her name, Amal Clooney. I think she's a superstar. She's she's a human rights lawyer, and she advocates. She uses her law degree to give back. I mean, that's the best case scenario for any lawyer. And I really admire her.
You really admire her. Thank you very much, Sharon. We really admire you as well. Do you have something to add
Yes.
up to what
So
you said?
in terms of my legacy, let's see. I have a vision statement that I always have. And I want to be remembered as a person who broke barriers, but also created opportunity for others, particularly those from underrepresented groups. And my hope of my journey is to inspire others to pursue their dreams with courage and determination, knowing that their unique path is their strength and that they too can achieve greatness. I mean, find that unique part in your life and own it. Um, that's it. Yeah.
Find that unique path and own it. Audience, I do believe that you heard her right. We have to find our unique path and own it. We should be authentic now and forevermore. Thank you very much, Sharon, for joining me today on the Dream Rivers platform. I was super excited to have you, and I have personally learned so much.
Thanks for having me. Thank
We
you.
hope to have you once again on the platform.
Yeah, sure. I'd really love to come and discuss some more. I know we've touched on some stuff.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming, dear.
Thank you too for having me.
Thank you, dreamers. Thank you so much for joining me today and for being part of this inspiring conversation with Sharon Robinette. Definitely, Sharon's journey from navigating academic challenges to making significant strides in the legal field, all while advocating for diversity and inclusion, is truly remarkable. Don't you think so? Please, please, please don't forget to leave your comments below. Her insights reminds us that every challenge, each challenge that we have to face or we face head on is an opportunity for us to grow and that we can all contribute to a more equitable future. If you have enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might find inspiration in Sharon's story. Keep dreaming big, as we all say here. Stay curious and continue weaving your own path to greatness. Until next time, keep reaching for bye for now.